Hi gang, back with another video for you today. Guess what? I've got Dahlia here with me. So we've planned to do a couple of videos and we're highlighting a couple of brands that rarely anyone speaks about. And in today's video, well, I should say two fragrances that we both love. But in today's video, we're talking about Les Parfums de Rosine, Eloge Du Vert, which basically translates to praise the green. So today, find out all about Eloge Du Vert, a beautiful green rose fragrance. Coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, we're talking about Eloge Du Vert, one of our favorite green rose fragrances. We recently featured in, well, not recently, it's been a year.
I was gonna say recently.
Well, it feels recently because you haven't been here for a while. So
I think you just said a year, right?
it's just about a year that we aired that video. It's a very, very green fragrance. But I think
I saw you last time I was at your studio was March. So
almost
it
a
is
year.
almost a year.
Yeah. But you discovered this.
This is completely your fault. I bought this because I went completely nuts for it in that green video that we did.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So you do end up liking some fragrances when you come here to the studio.
I do. Probably a third of my collection is directly a result of filming with you.
That's interesting. That's influence, I guess.
You are an influencer.
Either way, guys, we're going to talk about Eloge Du Vert, a very, very under the radar house with really great fragrances, but their brands, the name's called Les Parfums De Rosine, and they focus on roses in all of their fragrances. But this one's so totally stand out. And we'll also do a little catch up with Dahlia. But before we get to the review and the catch up, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So let's catch up a little bit, Dahlia. What's going on?
Oh, well, you know, there's a pandemic. So
oh God, I forgot about that.
How could I not mention that? I've been cooking a lot. We caught up a little bit before this about the random television that we've been watching. But it's been I'm working on a book. I've been writing for Saint-Laurent.
Cool.
So
yeah, guys, go catch Dahlia's articles over at Saint-Laurent.
And then I've been posting on Instagram as the Perfume Dahlia. So when I have a new article on Saint-Laurent, I've been doing a post there so people know to go and look at it on the website. It's there, so
yeah, go follow her on Instagram.
Thank you for following me on Instagram. I sometimes forget, like the days just sort of blend together, and it's like, oh, I haven't done anything. I should post something.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like that.
Stuff I've noticed on your Instagram. I saw a lovely gray 80s bottle of something or other.
Ted Lapidus Pour Homme.
That looked interesting.
It's good.
The description was pretty. I mean, you weren't gushing, but you were pretty enthusiastic about it.
It's actually Kouros, but a sweeter version of it. So if you like Kouros and you don't know Ted Lapidus Pour Homme, it's like $15 for a tester.
Oh, man. There are still deals to be had.
There are. So why did you decide to buy Les Parfums de Rosine Eloge Du Vert? Well, tell me. Well, let's give them the details first, and then we'll talk about the fragrance. So this is a 2018 launch. It translates to praise the green or praise of green. And Eloge Du Vert is a green rosy fragrance. I would call it a green woody spicy or floral spicy. Perfumer is Delphine Lebeau. It's Eau De Parfum. It sells for 100 ml for $185. And you can go to their website and buy it directly from their website. I'm 100%, 99% sure that you can. But in the States, you can also buy this brand at beautyhabit.com. The notes include rose, green pepper for top notes. Heart includes pepper and ginger. Base notes, patchouli, and cedar. Kind of like our notes that we love, right?
That's basically my checklist right there. this is so complex and beautiful. I can't believe it's only 6 ingredients.
We do get more than just the 6 ingredients, I think.
It's lovely. So this, I remember when this came out separately from you, because it's the first time I've seen Parfums De Rosine do opaque bottles, and I think there's like 4 of them, 5 maybe, 3, 4, 5. There's a pink one, a yellow one, a green one. To be wrong?
No, I have them right in front of me. There's a yellow one with vanilla. There's a blue one with the marine notes and the rose. And I have a video that I'm going to air around the same time here that I shot with the owner of the brand in 2019 that I've never aired, with my thoughts on each of the fragrances. So you guys stay tuned for that. And then finally, the red bottle features like a fruity rose kind of a combo. I think it's fruity. I'm drawing a blank with that one. But there's 4 in the collection. And this is definitely a standout.
It's so good. And this brand takes a very interesting approach to fragrance, which is, it is rose based, like you said, where it's sort of the unifying theme, and it's all of the different things you can do with rose is kind of how I interpret it. They have great names like the Secret of Rose, but in French. The Ballerina Rose, but in French. Apologies, I'm not going to even try it. Like, it's versions of, Rose Adventure, but in French. They have like a ballerina line where there are like little tutus on the bottle. So cute. They do these great tassels on a lot of their bottles that are kind of like glamorous, and just they add like a little something to it. And it's, but it's almost, I think every single, the whole line is rose and something
Rose.
else.
Absolutely, rose, yeah. So I was in Paris, and I went to Paris 3 times in 2019. The second time I went and met with the owner, and that's where I shot the video that you guys will see. And they have the cutest little shop in the Palais Royal that I entered. It was so cute. It's tiny, but nicely decorated. And they have their little bottles standing out and, displayed. But very, very nice. If you guys are in Paris, go check out their store. But again, it's all about rose. But this is a very green rose. But for me, what stands out is that green bell pepper note.
Let's talk about bell peppers, a food and also as a note. Because when you're at a party and somebody does crudité or whatever, French, for raw vegetables, I think, and it's like, all chopped up, and you've got the carrots and you've got the cauliflower and the green bell pepper, and that's not what you go for first. I don't anyway. Like, you go for the red pepper, you go for the carrots, you go for, you'll go for the snap peas. Green pepper and mushrooms are last. They're left there when everything else is gone. Why do I like this so much?
Because you like green and you like rose.
It's so good in this. It's sort of like when my dad makes chicken soup, he puts like a green bell pepper in when he's making the broth, which, why? But it gives it something. I think it's like that. It's just, it greenifies it in a mysterious kind of way that's bigger than some of the parts.
I'm going to say something. This is kind of maybe weird, but this is something I've noticed with green bell peppers. When you're slicing them, really put your nose and smell the thing. I get rosy touches when I'm smelling green bell peppers. So I always thought, if it smells like rose there, it doesn't smell like a full-on rose like that, but I can smell hints of rose under there. And I'm like, that is a nice compliment, because complementing smells complement each other in perfumes. And I always thought that this is, a great composition because of those complementing notes. And it starts off with rose and green bell peppers.
It does, and it's there, but you don't even notice it really, because it's just part of this greater, better, beautiful composition. But I think if you were not crazy into perfumes and notes and fragrances, you'd just be like, oh wow, what's that? That's amazing. It's so green, like you said. But you wouldn't be just like, green pepper. It works. It also makes it incredibly unisex. Like, it's not masculine, it's not feminine, it's just beautiful. And it's not too light, and sort of like, a lot of times greens will sort of have like a watery effect to them, like a macerated, you know how I feel about cucumber, but like, like it's just
You're talking about Are you talking about ozonic?
No, I don't think so. Not like maybe
Because cucumbers go ozonic to me.
there's okay. Cucumbers are separate. Cucumbers
Okay.
are like just on the very short list of things that are just not allowed, except sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The green pepper though is I just never would have thought I liked it. And I really like it. I love it in this. I think I have another green one that has green pepper and it might be like my unofficial note of 2020.
You know what though? This is not the first time I experienced green bell pepper in a fragrance with rose. So I had bought a fragrance from the house of Maison Margiela called Wicked Love, which is sadly discontinued here in the States now. So those of you that are fans out there, that fragrance is similar to this, but for me, that one is more rose. This one is definitely much more green than Wicked Love from Maison Margiela. And I
Okay.
think with what you're saying about the unisex, I still read comments from men saying Rose is too feminine, Rose is too grandma, or this and that. This is for the guys that don't like Rose to check out something like this because
Even the cap, like even the presentation of it is a little more. I mean, a lot of their bottles are very, very frilly, and they, like I said, tassels, tutus, like
yeah, they
little.
do have those.
I love it. I love it. But like this one has like a different kind of cap, I think, and like it's more unisex. But you just made me think of the way Rose kind of appears in this. It's like you know the Addams Family movie from the '90s with Angelica Houston, right? You know that
Hmm.
scene in the greenhouse where she's just like she's just well, I mean the entire movie she's amazing, right? But she's like
Yeah.
flipping the tops off the roses and then she just puts the stems back in the vase or like leaves the stems in the vase or something. And it's just like you're amazing. You're that whole
That
kind
is
of
a great visual.
right because this smells like the stems of the
Yeah,
rose. It doesn't smell like
absolutely.
the jammy rose that people think of when you say something has rose.
Yeah, exactly. It's very stemmy.
Yeah.
I recently featured this in a Green Roses video, and I kind of did mention the stemminess in there. But what about the heart notes? Do you get the black pepper? Because I feel like there's a major dosage of black pepper and also some zingy spice from
I
ginger
think
here.
a lot.
Yeah?
Especially as it starts to dry down. There's this, it starts out like green, 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 and then there's this like almost yellower kind of feel that comes into it.
A
I think
yellow spice?
the ginger, but it's not like sweet, sweet, but it is sort of, it's not that sort of very hot, like burn your tongue ginger, but it's
Mm.
also not that gummy crystallized ginger. It's more like a nice smooth powdered like ginger
Hmm.
tea.
Yeah, I think there are certain fragrances that go warm in the warm direction. For me, this one goes into the fresh direction. Do you agree? I don't get much warmth. There's no vanilla. There's no amber. There's
Not
no.
and when
It's what?
it's not like cozy.
Hmm.
It's not cool though. It's not. I don't. Yeah, it's more fresh, but I don't know that it's like I don't think there's a specific season. The obvious
No.
for any green is spring, but this isn't particularly spring or particularly. I think it's year round. It's very clean. I guess it's fresh without being watery or gross. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a 120 degrees weather kind of fresh. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just referring to the freshness of the spices because the kind of spices they're using here definitely are on the fresh side for me.
Well, what's nice about the ginger is that in that sort of next part of the dried, like it starts out and it's just like green, and you think it, but it doesn't stay green. It goes into its own kind of. The ginger kind of makes it something different. I mean, how many greens do you? I mean, you could do it probably at this point a list of more than 20 green fragrances.
60.
Stop it. I believe you. But like this has something else. It goes in a different direction that isn't
Yeah.
necessarily plant based. And the ginger, I think, is a huge part of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what about the patchouli and cedar? Do you experience it? Because I think for me, by the time it gets to the base notes, it's almost like a mixture of everything that's kind of drying down with not anything, you know, standing out too much. But everybody experiences fragrances differently. How do you experience the base notes?
I get more of the patchouli, and it's a kind of earthy patchouli, like with slightly, not leathery, but like something loamy, like a very, if I say fertilized soil, it makes it sound like I'm talking about food.
No, don't say it.
But it's not like that. It's just, it's got an, something of the ground, like a to it,
Earth.
earthy.
It is earthy. Yeah, definitely it's earthy. For sure. Definitely for sure.
But I don't notice the cedar as much. I don't notice the cedar as much. I notice the patchouli with the, like, sort of as the next after the ginger phase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do we recommend this? Is there an age range we would recommend it to? I think it's just, if you like the kind of smell, just wear it.
Well, that's
If you like us, you should wear it.
this one. I wouldn't blind buy it. I think
No,
this is,
test it out.
if you can get a sample or find a place. I mean, after all this, to go and test it in person, that would be great. I I think this is Parfum De Rosine playing to us. This isn't for, you know, rando Jane or John kind of looking for something kind of neutral. I think this is quirky in the best possible way.
I think it's a little more, it's quirky, but there's something elegant about it. And the thing I was going to mention is, for some reason, when I smell this, I think of English gardens, where for me, English gardens are not, I mean, England in general doesn't get too hot. At least I don't think it would. And so there is this coolness about the garden. The flowers and the, you know, the fruits and things don't ripen too much. So there is this kind of greenish smell. I'm thinking, I don't know, it's just what I'm picturing or visualizing, but I'm getting English gardens with the actual smell of this. Thoughts on that?
Love it. Not like a super weeping rich person garden with like fountains and pathways and like a big garden. This is a small, like, personal garden with like creeping plants on the walls, like
Ivies.
yeah, there you go. And it's there's something very personal about this fragrance that I don't personal. I'm totally with you on the English garden. I'm where they're growing green peppers apparently, but like it's a quiet place to sit, kind of a garden. It's not a forest. It's not a like dusty like hike in your North Face. Like,
No.
it's not that
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
green. It's a very to your point, genteel kind of. It's domesticated.
Domesticated, that's the word. You know, I visualize sitting out in that garden, smelling everything there, and having a glass of tea or something, like a cup of tea or something.
I think it would be an adult beverage at that part of your day, in that garden.
Well, don't they have afternoon tea?
I'm just saying it might be cocktail hour.
Okay, well, maybe a gin tonic.
Except that, yeah, you make those with cucumber though, which we've discussed is not acceptable.
Only with Hendrick's gin, though. If you use any other kind of gin, it's no cucumbers. You know about Hendrick's gin, right?
You told me that
They distill it with roses and cucumbers.
I'm in favor of one of those.
Yeah, I mean, even Killian did a fragrance inspired by the not Hennessy, what am I saying? With the Hendrick's gin, because they use rose and cucumbers in the fragrance.
Ooh.
Anyway, that's another story. We're talking about Eloge Du Vert now.
Nice.
We really do recommend this one. We've been planning this video for a while, but I think we were waiting for you to get a bottle, and finally you did, and you're enjoying it, right?
I've been like dying to post about it since I got it, but I didn't want to mess up like this because I knew we were going to talk about it. This is it is one that I put on the list after that green video like a year ago or something. And then I kind of like was watching it on Beauty Habit. I think they had a price change. It wasn't, I don't remember it being 185. I remember being sort of like surprised when it became like, I think it was 155 or something, and then it was 175, and then now it's apparently 185. Which is not generally the direction you hope pricing will go, but it is really good. And so I kind of watched in dismay so it maybe wasn't the first one that I thought that was on my list, is what I'm getting at.
I see.
But I have it now.
Yeah. Definitely recommended for you guys to check out. If you guys can go and smell it at their Paris boutique, I recommend it. I don't know with what's going on with the pandemic, if they're still open or all that kind of stuff, but yeah, go smell it somewhere or get a sample. I recommend this one.
I would say, like, on one last box, I know I feel like we're winding down, but this I think is very versatile. It's not like super outdoorsy, like you would only wear it during the daytime. There's a little kind of fizzy, kind of je ne sais quoi, kind of, maybe it's the rose component. I think it could work for date night, either person on the date, whomever they're on the date with. You know, it's not a huge projector, so it's not like in the way.
True.
You know, whatever you're eating. Plus, I mean, there's green pepper, which is a food. So I'm just kidding. But
Food de taste.
It's a life choice. And then there's, but it mixes with my skin really well. It just feels like it's like a very natural thing to wear, without being perfumey, without being like, you know, like what was that brand? The drugstore one that would smell like actual things.
Demeter, yeah. They had a bell pepper.
I'm sure they did.
They had a tomato, and I mixed them together.
Really? I completely believe you right now. Okay.
Layered them.
But it's not like that, where it's like a joke, or not that they're bad.
No, it totally makes sense. Yeah.
This is high end. This is really nicely done, and it's there's so, at a certain point when you've been in this hobby for a while, you kind of start to notice some themes, maybe, or patterns, or I don't want to say people are copying each other. That's not what I mean. But you sort of smell similar fragrances from different brands. And this, I can't think of another one like it that I've smelled. You had one that was similar from what did you say?
Maison Margiela's Wicked Love, yeah. But as I was saying, that one's a little more rosier than this one. This is more green for me, which is really fabulous. Woohoo! All right. Well, anything else we should mention before we wrap up the review?
I don't know if we've done it justice. It's hard when something's really nice because it's sort of like not. I feel bad because it's like sometimes when you say that a person is nice, it's like not a good thing. It's sort of like, oh, he's nice, and that's not always great. This is not that. This is nice.
This is really good, actually. Yeah. Really, 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 really good.
Understated, but excellent.
Very original smell, too. It's like sometimes everything you smell smells the same, and then something stands out. That's the kind of smell this is.
And it's not linear at all. I mean, the opening is definitely that Eloge Du Vert, like that, what did you call it? Like a worship of green or testimony?
Yeah, praise of green, yeah.
And that's like, you get like the hosannas and the trumpets at the beginning. But when it settles down, it's a totally different fragrance, really, that has a relationship with the first, but it's not, you're not wearing green anymore. It's not a walk in the forest start to finish. You're not in the garden for the rest of your like day exactly. It just becomes something less literal, and that's, I think, pretty cool.
Yeah, for me it becomes more spicy, earthy, woody, with hints of the green from the top creeping in.
The green never leaves, but this isn't just a green. That's what I'm trying
Correct.
to say. Like even in the list we did of green, there's the mossy forest, there's the pine forest, there's the more vegetal, but this is not that. This is its own
unique creation. Yeah. Well, I think we did it.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, let us know if you've sampled Eloge Du Vert from Les Parfums De Rosine, or also let me know, or let us know if you are a fan of the brand or house. Let me know what your favorite fragrances are. If you have any questions or comments for us, please do list below. Other than that, stay tuned for one more video of a not very hyped brand with Dahlia sometime in the near future. But thanks so much for watching today. Please do like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget Dahlia as well. And we'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.